Yeah, I'm not liking the mage. To be honest, the mage is pretty bad. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. And we have a surprise. Well, I guess it's a surprise to me. I got this notice that Ghostwire had a Prelude out. It's a visual novel. In case you don't know, Ghostwire Tokyo is coming out on the 26th or the 27th of this month. And it's basically a game where this detective is trying to figure out why the residents of Japan are vanishing into thin air. Now, this visual novel is supposed to explain why, or it's pretty much supposed to set up the events of what takes place in the actual game. So, what better way to figure out what Ghostwire is about than to see its prelude? So, let's get into it. The corrupted case file, huh? I'm not going to pre-order anything. I'm about to say I can't. Why did they make the text black? You know what? Hold on. Let me. Language is English. Font size is normal. Font speed is normal. A to select. I mean X to select. Circle the back. Yeah, this. I mean, I don't even know why I went there. But since it's a graphic novel, so it's gotta have subtitles and stuff, right? But yeah, let's get into what caused. Who knows? Maybe it'll explain what is causing all this in the first place. Let's check it out. So I don't know who this guy is. Renko? Erica? I mean, out the gate, it's not very promising that out the gate it starts off, with some language. No one wants to talk about it, but it's all that's on anyone's mind these days. Mysterious things are happening all around Shibuya. Sightings, attacks, disappearances, fear. Well, these are. I don't want to say that. How is a kid supposed to be a kid in a time like this? Bro, if you thought this was bad, try being a kid in some of the past periods. But honestly, Ryota never really was like most kids. He's not usually glued to his phone all day. Well, most kids are nowadays glued to their phone or their device. Hopefully, what in the world is this you got on your phone, boy? Ryota's concerns bring him to a mysterious case file posted online. It's titled the Kirigaoka Vanishing. He reads it to himself the best he can. Having tracked another report of dark fog to the area, I arrived to find... Oh, so this must be the detective narrating this. I arrived to find it had passed, leaving dreary rain hanging over the neighborhood. At the scene, all we found were the clothes of a mother and a son, left behind like two molded cicada shells. molted cicada shells. Ah, so people are disappearing, leaving nothing but their clothes behind. Now, there is a game. I mean, there's a series on Netflix that's similar to this. I forgot the title though. It wasn't. It wasn't Alice in Wonderland, I don't think. But there is. It's either by a Korean. It's either a Korean show or a Japanese show that's similar to this. It's hard to even imagine a parent and her child just gone, precious lives snuffed out forever. My heart sank knowing that I had failed to protect them. First of all, you don't know they're dead. They're just gone, right? It was the worst feeling I'd ever felt. As if on cue, the rain started pouring down, heavier and heavier. It fell with each passing minute, but I couldn't be bothered to take out my umbrella. That's when the obvious culprits returned to the scene of the crime. A group of monsters. They had umbrellas of their own, as if rain followed them wherever they go. I was furious. I brought down on them at that very moment. They tried to protect themselves with the umbrellas, but I just kept pounding on them until they were battered and broken. I was exhausted. I could have fallen over at any moment, but my utter wrath kept me going. As I picked up to leave, I still refused to open my own umbrella. I just walked away, rain pouring and soaking me to the bone. If this is the cop, you're a terrible officer, sir. KK. What does that say? Okay, so this is the Maruno. Unable to shake the idea that monsters are all around him, Ryota navigates on his phone to a document called the Marinuochi Vanishing. The language is complicated, but he works to understand, it says. I got a tip on a missing woman from Marinuochi. When you've been a detective as long as I have, you tend to build up a big network of contacts. The story my contact told me was that they saw the woman one day when the fog rolled in. It blanketed the area, and then poof, she was gone. Times like these make me wish a certain somebody was around. Come to think of it, the fog and these disappearances set the scene for when I first met the rest of my crew. Everybody kept talking about folks just up and disappearing, and I thought it was a load of horse. It wasn't till I met them and until my encounter that I believed. Ever since then, I've been haunted by what I would have once called hallucinations. Turns out being able to see spirits and monsters isn't fantasy movie nonsense after all. Guess I should be thankful, because otherwise I wouldn't have seen through that monster taking the form of the woman. She made a bunch of red orbs appear that chased me around, but I knew so long as I didn't let myself get surrounded, I'd be okay. She was a nightmare to look at, so I put her out of her misery. When I searched the scene, I spotted a woman's handbag, found the missing lady's ID cards in there. Then I came across some clothes that looked like they would have been hers. They were in a little pile, but the way they had fallen made it clear her body had just vanished. No mistaking whose handiwork it was either. I'd finally managed to get my hands on a solid enough lead to work with. KK. Alright, so that's the second vanishing. And I guess now I have to read the bathroom vanishing. Could monsters really live among us? I wouldn't call them monsters, but these case files say that yes, they absolutely can and do, according to this one. A lady called me about a missing person who vanished from the bathroom of her apartment. Usually I'd brush it off as another runaway, but after seeing the crows circling above her apartment, I had a feeling there'd be more to this. Now, there's a superstition that people have when you see crows at someone's house that means they're dead or something like that. But I don't believe in superstitions, so, you know. The black stains on the front door verified my hunch. It turns out that I'm the only one that can see these black stains. The lady who lived there and showed me in made no signs of noticing it. She showed me the bathtub and gave me a play-by-play of what happened. Her boyfriend was taking a bath, longer than usual, and so she went to the bathroom to check in on him. Wait, when she opened the door, her boyfriend was gone, and for a short instant, there was a reflection of an old shrine on the surface of the water. On the bath water. Now, why would you check in on him because he took a longer bath than usual? So is there a certain length that someone can spend in the bathroom? I rubbed my finger on the rim of the bathtub, and there was a transparent, sticky slime-like substance on it. A reflection of a shrine shone on the water's surface. Could that be what is it called? Exoplasma or something like that? I need to talk further with my team about this incident to see if these things ring any bells. I purged the black stain on the front door and then left the scene. Poor lady, what will she do now? What can any of us do? So some kind of monsters that only certain people can see are coming in these clouds of darkness, and they are stealing bodies, leaving the clothes and possessions behind, and apparently they can mimic the bodies they've taken. Interesting. So is that it? The Kiri... Oh, there's another vanishing. In these posts, the kid had found something, or rather someone called KK, has been looking into monsters in this part of town, a believer, just like Ryota. Social media would never lie. Let me see if I read that correctly. Social media would never lie. Yes, I did. Interesting. And that means KK is an expert, maybe the expert in all things paranormal. Yes, because social media would never lie. Oh boy. There's only one thing left to do. So I'm guessing this little boy with the headphones is Ryota. Having pored over every story, post, and grainy photo about local monsters he could find, Ryota prepares to take action. I'm going to ask this KK guy to help. Just got to figure out where he lives first. Sagasu? What is that, like? I just got to... What's going on? Oh, so that's the name of his company, Ghostwire? Dear Mr. Investigator Person. Mr. Investigator Person, huh? Rinko. Hello, how are you? I'm not good and I need your help. Monsters got my best friend, Sosuke. Rinko sits up in her chair. Wait, that's... Okay. She's zeroing in on one of a dozen monitors from across a makeshift command center stuffed into this cramped Tokyo apartment. Man, I can imagine what your electric bill must be. It happened near the manhole. Please help me get him back. Data flies across the screen. Seemingly too much. Charts and graphs, maps and mathematical equations, even social media feeds and open case files. Somehow, Through all of those screens and all of that clutter, Ryota's message catches Rinko's eye. Sounds desperate, but it could just be some bored kid trolling us. Calm and confident, Rinko insists on balancing compassion with skepticism in her analytical approach. On the other hand, that manhole is within the vicinity of several recent incidents. Maybe he is involved. I can see that. I can see how you think he might be trying to set you up. She knows what she thinks. She knows what she thinks. But she also knows no one can protect Tokyo all by themselves. Trusting your teammates is the only way to keep everyone safe. What do you make of it, Ed? Ed squints and takes a single deep breath as he turns to the screen. He has something to say but holds it back. Technology is easy. People are hard. I disagree, but I don't agree that, I disagree about any of them being easy or hard. But instead of speaking up, he places a small recorder on his desk. He presses play, and as the audio begins to roll, Ed turns and walks away. What? I've heard intriguing stories about so-called manhole girls in Japan. Vengeful ghosts of bullied students said to trick their other children, into following them into the sewer. It, by any chance? From where they never return. If any information turns up about such anomalies, I'd be keen to investigate. Though I speak purely out of personal interest, it might not be enough to make the rest of my team pursue it without further evidence.
Okay.
Alright. Safe to say, since you somehow found the time to record something this specific about a single urban legend that you want to look into. It. Oh, so that's an actual urban legend? I wonder if that's a real Japanese urban legend. Manhole girls. Or I guess in this day and age you would call it sewer drain girls. Ed is already engrossed in another work. He doesn't respond. He certainly doesn't notice when Rinko rolls her eyes. He rarely does. Well, you have to consider the fact that he has now seen these supernatural or spiritual beings, right? Like, just imagine you're walking down the street one day and you just see a spectral being walking through people and then walk through the wall into a building. And then all of a sudden people in the building say, something happened, or the building catches on fire or something, right? Like, you would be intrigued. Probably best we have no idea how you spend your free time, huh, Ed? Erica's been sitting next to Rinko this entire time, listening and waiting for the right time to chime in. That time is... So this is a schoolgirl, huh? Want me to check it out?
Yeah.
I don't think so, Erica. Could be dangerous. What if something happens to you? Seriously, you still don't trust me to go out by myself for 5 minutes in the middle of the day? At just 16 years old, Rinko might be right not to trust Erica on something dangerous. So can any of these people... I noticed the guy said he had a team with powers. What are their powers? But Rinko knows that Erica has shown a maturity beyond her years. She gives Erica an almost sisterly look of skepticism. You know it's not that. Rinko quickly turns back to her monitors and away from Erica. But for all her maturity, Erica can't quite keep from pouting. I guess she's going to curse now, right? Stop making that face. Besides, we've got our very own private detective in the vicinity already. I'll have him take a look. Oh, your own private detective, who would that be? The stall is brimming as a wide array of customers eat in relative silence. The only sound they make is the slurping of their noodles. The silence breaks when a phone begins to vibrate upon the countertop. The owner ignores it, choosing to focus on his meal instead. The phone doesn't care about his hunger and continues to vibrate. Well, that's when you hit the red X and they'll call you back eventually. The phone wins. The peace and solitude have shattered. This is no way to enjoy noodles. The silent diner finally glances, diner, finally glances at the screen. He begins to mutter to himself. Another case, these people have me working harder than my enemies ever did. Can't even get 5 minutes to enjoy a nice quiet lunch. Let me guess, I'll be risking life and limb. That why you let it ring for so long? Too scared to pick up? Ha. You know, the exact day I stopped being scared of anything. Oh, what? So are you like immortal or something? The day you stopped being a loner and hooked up with us so we could have your back? Sure, that works. Besides, I'm not fool enough to pretend this team isn't half okay. Well, that's not necessarily a compliment either, sir, whatever your name is. If you need backup, you know I'll be there. No question asked. I actually already volunteered, but right now, there's nothing dangerous to be worried about. It's a simple check-in on a report or some suspicious activity that might be connected to these phenomena we've been looking into. It's always the simple cases that go south the fastest. You know what? You're right. Maybe Erica should run point on this one. She's just a kid, but you're busy, so we'll hold up. Let's not sacrifice the rookie to make me look bad. I'm already out. Send me the information. I'll get on it. First, though, I need to talk to one of you about something. Oh, what I have to choose? Let's choose Rinko. Let me guess. Ticked, I interrupted your precious solitary soba time, guy. Soba? Irked, not ticked. I was almost done. The report of a vengeful spirit abducting children interrupt the same bowl of noodles you've had 1,000 times. Not much left in this world I love. When I think of something else, I'll tell you. You won't have a chance to add to that list if we don't figure this out. We both know how powerful the forces we're dealing with really are. Now, I'm noticing a little red flag here, but we'll keep trucking. We have to keep pulling these threads until we've unraveled the whole thing. No thread is too small. Guess I can't argue with that. Yes. I know I can rely on you. It might be the only thing I know for certain. Now go prove how smart I am. It's the job I was born to do. I noticed he started glowing purple, so... Ryota doesn't notice the people passing him on the street. They don't notice him either. He is young, but he is very much alone. His focus is centered on the small bit of paper in his hands. After a couple of folds, the paper finds a familiar configuration. With a head, arms, and body, it takes shape. A palm-sized person stands in his hand. What about that looks like a person to you? As Ryota inspects his creation, someone who has been observing him from afar steps out of the shadows. What have you got there? Ryota looks up. He's nervous, but clutches the paper doll in his hands to stay brave. He's not running or hiding, despite the gruff stranger staring at him. No need to be afraid. I'm not here to do anything bad to you or your little friend. Gotta admit, I've been known to carry the odd paper doll with me on investigations. Strange habit, I know. But you got the benefits of a partner. Oh, you get the benefits of a partner, without the annoying small talk. Ryota's shoulders ease. He lets his guard down as he listens to the detective and re-examines the folded paper. The detective surprises him with his playful tone. He's rusty, but he somehow still feels comfortable talking to this scared kid. Sometimes paper dolls are used for magical purposes. You're a sorcerer by chance? Now is the time to tell me. So you really are him, huh? Gonna have to be more specific, kid. Again, it's like they wrote that in there just so you could say, so I really am who, you know? You're KK, the ghost hunter from the files. You must be. I just thought you'd be taller. They say you solve strange mysteries. Right? KK. Maybe. The detective looked closely at Ryota's phone. He sees the social media posts featuring photos of various case files he's worked on, collected in one place. Look, I only use those initials cause writing out my name is a pain. And I got too much pain already. How long does it take you to write your name, bro? Not your problem, right? Anyhow, that's me, KK. But I'm not a ghost hunter. I'm a detective. KK's demeanor hardens a bit, dropping the playfulness. You wanted an investigator, kid. Well, you got one. I'm so glad you're going to look into the disappearances at the manholes. Here's the thing. I already did. Made some calls on the way here. There's no record of any recent disappearances. Still, I got a few friends on the force, so I could dig up dirt quick. KK shoots Ryota a serious look. Not trying to pull a fast one on me, are you, kid? It's true, honest. My buddy Sosuke disappeared. He hasn't come home since yesterday. Last place I saw him was right back here. Ryota motions to the alleyway behind him. He went down that way. I tried to follow, but I couldn't find him. He was completely gone. If Ryota's bluffing, he's an incredible liar. A sadness comes over him when he looks back towards the alley. KK looks back and forth, from the kid, then to the alleyway behind him. All alleys are dark, but this one looks like it's never seen daylight. Here I would have to ask, how can you tell? What does an alleyway that has never seen daylight look like? I wonder. Because, like, what difference does having daylight in the alley make to it when it's dark or when it doesn't have any light? See any fog when that happened? The moment he disappeared? Now that you mention it, there has been something spooky around, like a kind of fog or darkness. But it came and then went. Alright. KK mutters something to himself as he eyeballs the alleyway behind Ryota. Nothing looks immediately out of place. With so much going down in the city, some kid getting lost doesn't exactly seem like front page news. Call the kid's bluff. Call the kid's bluff or press for more info. I want to press for more info, but I can't tell what I'm selecting. Let's do this. I need more to go on, kid. Why are you so convinced he was taken? Didn't happen to anyone else around here. But it did happen to my best friend. Sosuke's been missing for 2 full days. Everyone's been looking, but no one can find him. What about his parents? Have they filed a police report? I'm the only one who really cares about Sosuke. I know he needs me. Now, why haven't you answered this question, boy? Why didn't you tell me if his parents filed a police report? And no one else is even looking for him anymore. Just me. He's lucky to have you. It's like when you saw crows circling above the building in one of those cases you investigated. You knew there was more to it than anyone else. Well, Mr. KK, I know there's more to Sosuke's disappearance. I just need your help. Really did your homework, huh? I'm impressed. You're more dedicated than most adults I know. You need to hang out with some more respectable adults then. You remind me of my friend Erica. She lost someone too, and she'll never stop fighting for them either. Ah, so that's why she's there. So I guess you're considered special if you can see either the fog or the creatures that took whoever you saw went missing away. KK takes another glance at the alley. Alright, show me exactly where this Sosuke pal of yours disappeared. Ryota perks up, so you're going to look into it? I was about to say, why would I ask you to show me where it is if I wasn't going to look into it? Let me check in with my team, see if they figured anything out. Could save us some time. He reaches for his phone. What's up? We're all here. I just need a quick word with one of you to follow up on what the kid has told me. So I guess now I have to... Now this dude probably... Well, he's the one that, you know, talked about the manhole girls. I'm not creepypasta, urban legend. So let's ask him. And you find anything in those files of yours while I was talking to this kid? Unfortunately, I've only done a limited amount of my own research into this legend before being pulled away by other tasks. That said, I've been quite eager to continue it. Ed, spit it out. What do you know? Of course, it's still just a theory. While he was speaking, Ed queued up another file on his audio recorder. He lets it do the talking from here out. Wait, so you record... While installing some ethereal energy monitoring hardware that I decided to place throughout the city, I've become aware of micropulses within Tokyo's electrical grid that are only recognizable within distinct frequencies. It is my belief that these frequencies are tied to spiritual resonance, a byproduct of vanishing experiments. Oh no. Now this is going to be a disappointment if this is some secret scientific group sanctioned by the government to try teleportation experiments. My intention is to continue monitoring these pulses via the mobile lab with the hope of ultimately detecting a source location. So far, signs point to the Shibuya district, but I've been unable to produce more specific results. It's as if the source is continually moving, relocating, perhaps to avoid the exact type of precision detection that I seek to achieve. A moving target, eh? If there were anything to move quickly through the city undetected, you could do worse than the sewers. Well, Ed, time to test this theory of yours. Ryota, it's time to find Sosuke. So now you're convinced Sosuke's alive, huh? Nothing looks out of place, but things are rarely what they seem. KK slowly but deliberately reaches his hands out. He's not holding on to anything, but you would think that he is by the way he's moving. Ryota's? Oh, KK. Okay. Like he's getting something invisible dangling from his fingertips. Like he got something. He's got something invisible. Ryota has no clue what he's trying to do, but he watches closely. However, what happens next can only be seen by KK's eyes. As KK opens his fingers, a sparkling orb of energy drops from his hand down onto the ground. It ripples like water in a still pond, energy flowing outward into the world. Okay. Is he floating? A strange trail floats into view, as though a spirit has passed through this place. Psychic energy. The trail leads further on, deeper into the alley and out of view. Guess he went that way. Puzzled, Ryota follows KK's eye line down the alley, but sees nothing out of the ordinary. What happened? I don't see anything. Trust me, kid, it's good you can't see it. This is a power you don't want. And you're too young for it. To take a risk like that and change your life forever. The world's a scary place. It keeps getting worse. We're gonna find your friend and get you back to your life. Is that so? KK and Rinko are in big trouble. This time, running like rats desperate to stay alive, with only a dingy old sofa between them and... What just happened? Monsters. We better find another exit. Rinko turns to KK and sees him holding his head. He appears to be in green again. Your body's reacting to the ether. How am I supposed to read that? As KK looks at the room, his vision begins to break in half. He tries to focus, but rather than reform, everything continues to split apart even further. After another hallucination, the world is breaking in two. Actually, according to this, it's breaking into three. They'd be crystallized either. What? That would be crystallized ether. Another form of matter. Sounds like your body has entered the final stages of affinity. From thin air like phantoms, these horrific visitors appear, surrounding KK and Rick. We're surrounded. Mr. KK? Are you okay? Sorry, kid, my mind can be a little hard to control. You just kind of stood there for a little while. Sometimes my memories take me places. Hate to leave you alone again, but you need to wait here while I look for your pal. Sit tight, I won't be long. A report on Rinko's computer setup flashes on screen. Edge monitoring software has a hold of something big. The results are clear. Spiritual residue, and it's exactly at KK's location. Oi. What is it now? We just received an alert. There was a massive surge of spiritual energy at your location. Hold off on pursuing until we're able to send support. Can't wait forever for you guys. We might have a missing child on our hands. We got plenty of evidence. I know what I'm getting myself into. Relax. Ed's research has already prepared me. I'm ready. I appreciate the vote of confidence on behalf of my work, but the research was actually quite limited. It was more of a brief overview. In fact, I wouldn't call it actionable intelligence, so to speak. It was a very informative overview. I doubt I could be any more ready than I am right now. So I guess this is going to depend. If I'd have picked someone else, their info would have been used. So I don't know. Let's see. It's not fair to ask us to help when you think you need us. Then use our own words against us when you're too impatient to act as a team. We're in this together. KK decides to address one team member specifically to make his case. Let's address Erica. What Erica and I have been through, I don't expect anyone else to understand. I barely understand it. Here's what I do understand. I take risks so others don't have to. And yeah, you all do the same thing. That's why I'm proud to call you my team. But it has to stop somewhere. A line needs to be drawn. We aren't the vulnerable ones who need your protection. We're all strong, and that strength multiplies when we work together to help others. You two are so special to me, both of you, and I think I understand where you're both coming from. It's just that this torment, once the power has gotten inside of you, the affinity, it won't let you rest. It's like being chased. We're running from something awful. I'm sorry that I'm not making sense. I just can't be quiet right now. I have to speak my truth. Of course you do. I have to support whatever decision he makes. The truly selfish act would be to stand still and let it overtake you. In the end, I know that I would do the same thing. Let's hope you never have to. I'll talk to you later. I'm in the middle of investigating. So I guess Erica has his powers too. He never was any good at following people's directions. That attitude of his is precisely what saved our hides on countless occasions. Yeah. You don't think I realized that? Erica smiles, thinking about KK's attitude. Doesn't bother her. Okay, so I guess now we're... Oh. KK's eyes dart between the two horrific figures, and to some incredibly strange glowing crystals that hover nearby. As he tries to speak, KK wheezes painfully. Is that Slender Man? Rinko, what would happen if someone tried to touch one of those ether crystals? Your guess is as good as mine. Might give you the power to fight back, might just make you even more miserable. Who can say? What about him? Did it grant him strength? Rinko nods silently. After getting his answer, KK without hesitation stretches his hands out toward the crystal. Wait, stop. Stopping's not an option. Not for any of us. You don't know what will happen. It could kill you. And those things won't. We're dead if we don't try something. Well, you got a point there. If you don't try something, Slender Man and the headless schoolgirl will definitely kill you. Yeah. We aren't out of options yet. You've thrown away everything to fight these monsters, same as me. Before Rinko can say anything else, KK reaches all the way out. Okay, so some hands are dragging him into the sewer. KK follows the trail of psychic energy deeper into the dark Shibuya alleyway, away from the glow of familiar streetlights and vending machines. His venture into the unseen brings him to a manhole cover where the spirit residue flashes with an eerie intensity. This spot is clearly the origin point of whatever spirit is at the center of this mystery. Did they take you this way, Sosuke? KK looks around again. Finding nothing, focuses his attention on this haunted manhole. The spectral vision shows KK a lot more than he thought it might, revealing a glowing specter hovering in a dark and dreary place. The spirit of a man in his 30s. A Jabaku Rei. According to the Japanese lore, this type of spirit is trapped in a physical location. Okay, Spectre, what's keeping you tied down here? The Spectre seems unable to answer him. Instead, he mutters as if distracted or perhaps completely delirious. Either or, maybe both. Spectres aren't especially concerned with politeness or clarity. Neither of us is going anywhere until I get some answers. I need to know. What are you doing here specifically at this manhole cover? Why haunt this place? I thought it was a kid, just a kid playing around, just having fun, alone. I wanted to make sure he was safe. So just being neighborly, eh? Yes, no. Not making friend, protecting, but he wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't a kid though, was it? There was something else, something lurking in these shadows. Did I die? I think I died, but this isn't what I expected. What was it? A monster. A monster? The Spectre points downward. Underneath, huh? KK stares at the manhole as though if he just looks hard enough, he'll suddenly see what lurks in the darkness beneath its cover. He doesn't have to see the Spectre nod to know he's right. It went that way. Before he can pull up the manhole cover and see for himself, A long shadow creeps in from the edge of the alleyway. Did you find anything? Snooping around is detective business. You don't belong back here. I thought I heard you talking to someone. Who is this youngster? Only I can hear you, so don't bother. Only you can hear me? Well, sure. Nobody else is even here. This is turning into a clown show. Kid, I need you to stay here while I go down. It's not safe for you there. Not safe? Not safe. Monster. But how do you know I'll be safe up here? My team's one call away. They'll get here quick if you're in danger. Weren't you just saying something about being in the middle of an investigation and too busy to talk to anyone? Funny you should mention that. I could actually use some help. I believe they call it client services. Who you calling mister? Are they nice like you or nicer? Oh. That's Ryota. Client services sounds more like babysitting to me. If only you would just wait for us to get there. We play the hand we're dealt, and juggling work and child care has never been my strong suit. I need a little support. Rinko sighs, a long tired sigh of a frustrated person who knows that in the end, of course, they'll help. She'll always help him, just as he will always help her. And I have the perfect candidate in mind. Well, it said Rinko will always help, so you, Rinko, there's nobody I trust more. The way you looked after Erica, you got away with young people, I just don't. Talk some sense into this kid, make him give me the space I need to get the job done. Okay. Put him on. Ryota holds KK's phone to his ear, happy to make another new friend. Miss Ghost Hunter? No, Ryota, this is Rinko. I'm the one who first read your message about your friend Sosuke. We're gonna find him. You just have to trust us and listen to us. We always need your help. Will you help us? We need a new deputy for our paranormal investigation force. A deputy? Like a real deputy?
Yes.
Perfect. You're now our official task force lookout. It's a tough job and not just anyone can do it, but I believe in you. Now, if he believes this, he is so stupid. I'm sending an alert to your smartphone right now. Every 5 minutes, send me a message and tell me what you see. Even if it's just normal stuff. I'll do my best. But you need to stay right where you are. If you go anywhere, that wouldn't be good task force lookout work. In that case, I would be forced to demote you to a lower position. And you have no idea the kind of paperwork that would create. You can count on me, Rinko. KK watches as Ryota smiles and hands the phone back to him. Then the kid puts on a tough deputy face and begins to survey the entrance to the alley. We good? He's on lookout duty. That should keep him busy for a while. But you'd better proceed with caution. We are on our way. How long is it going to take? You're the best. Tell me something I don't already know. I'm going to stop there. Now to go down there and find your pal, Sosuke. What's in the sewer? So far, this hasn't told us anything, but dirty water splashes on his feet as he makes his way through the still darkness of Shibuya's sewer. Further he goes, the darker it gets, but not because of any change in light. No, the darkness is unnatural. In fact, it's not darkness at all. It's tangible. Dense fog made of spiritual energy fills the air. Toxic paranormal waste coats the ground and plugs the drains. Those drains look pretty open to me. I mean, I'm just saying. Okay. But the air, The air itself is rejecting him. This corruption flows between worlds and reaches around him, blocking KK's way. How long has it been building up right before our feet? Is it like this everywhere? As KK goes deeper, the Kagare only increases. There's definitely something here if there's this much corruption swirling around. Nothing I can't handle, though. Alone in the darkness, KK summons his power and... let me guess, the darkness dissipates. Hold X and trace the shape to clear the sewer of corruption. Oh. Like, am I supposed to... I mean, it's not it's not ideal, but cleanses the corruption, returning the sewer to its normal state. That's better, minus the stink. But the Kagare now cleared, as if they were waiting for a moment of safety. Someone appears. Sosuke, is that you? The small boy avoids KK's look, turning his back and picking at something on the wet ground. Split splash, split splash. Hey, you kid, you okay? Can you hear me? Are you hiding from something? Take a bath, take a bath. Come on, kid, this isn't the time or the place. Answer me. I'm not trying to scare you, but you gotta work with me here. In the vast darkness of the sewers, the sound of KK's phone suddenly rings out, the tiny chime echoing back and forth around the hollow space. The small boy in the raincoat doesn't seem to notice. He must be very preoccupied. I'm close. I found Sosuke, but I'm worried. He won't. Muffled sounds. Down so far, the signal to KK's phone is barely holding on. He can only make out a few sounds and struggles to make out what words they might be forming. I'm guessing curse words, right? Muffled sounds. Oi, oi. Hello, is anybody there? Rinko, is that you? Ed, Erica, who's this? It wouldn't be myself, would it? It looks like Rinko on the phone, so I'm gonna say her. Rinko, can you hear me? Are you with Ryota? Can you ask him, was Sosuke wearing a yellow raincoat? The scratchy connection makes it almost impossible to understand. Sosuke. It's about Sosuke? Not. Oh, it's a mimic. Rinko. I can't understand. Sosuke is not what? Not Sosuke. The call cuts out, the phone going dead in KK's hand. Enough screwing around, Sosuke. She just said not Sosuke, you idiot. Just like that, finally, as if called by his mother to come to dinner, the child responds. He stands up and turns to KK with his dead, evil eyes. You're not Sosuke. You're the monster. KK raises his hand and calls forth an energy that he discovered that day long ago. The day he found his back against the wall, reaching out and touching the other crystal. Ever heard of ethereal weaving, monster? Energy surges into KK's hand, green light winding and glowing, charging around his fingertips. The increasingly bright light glows, illuminating the tunnel. And in that moment, standing in the center of the tunnel, we can see this monster, this raincoat visitor, just in time for it to press a child's whistle to his mouth and... oh boy. At a stranger's fingertips lies KK, now a prisoner. I need my subject to remain calm or else nothing will get done. Despite being captive, KK flashes the stranger a fierce glare. Hello, my new friend. I'm keen to see how useful your vessel turns out to be. What? The stranger takes something out and holds it in his hand. An amulet. Though clearly not simply for decoration, it surges with power. He looks from the amulet and back to KK and smiles. Uh-oh. Can we get some, like, visuals, maybe? As the monstrous little raincoat visitor blows his whistle, he steps back into the shadowy darkness. Oh. Running away, huh? But he's not running away at all. In fact, he's only making space. Oh great, it's Slenderman for two much larger, far more horrifying visitors to show up, challenging KK. I've been waiting to run into you again. Let's go. Oh, a talisman that stops visitors from moving. It will be consumed on use. Damage. One umbrella visitor is injured. An umbrella visitor attacks. Defend, defend. A barrier appears in front of KK. An umbrella visitor attacks, but its attack is deflected by the barrier. The barrier is broken. Attack. The barrier is broken. One umbrella visitor is injured. An umbrella visitor attacks. Defend! It appears for KK an umbrella visitor attacks, but its attack is deflected. The barrier is broken. Now what is this? A talisman that stops the visitor from moving. It will be consumed on use. Stop moving, boy. He's frozen in place. Only one stun talisman is left. Attack! He's injured. He awakens from stun. Attack again. He's injured. You're done. Attack one more time. The fight now over, the sewer is oddly calm again. KK sweeps the place looking for any clues that may be left behind. Why would a pack of monsters manifest their evil here? But then he sees it, affixed to one wall of the tunnel. A wooden tag, sometimes called a kifuda. This must be what summoned those things. KK reaches out to take the kifuda down, but as his fingertips approached it, a bright light shows. A blinding bright light shows. What? Tokyo's underwater? Rinka? Erica? KK feels a big, quick thump through his body. When he looks down, he sees someone else's arm. What? Through his chest? It's horrifying. Black smoke reaches out of his body. Looking back up, KK sees a man wearing a Hanya mask. You're... He gasps. As KK comes to, he realizes that he is in the tunnel once again. No steel. He looks at his chest. It's totally fine. No gaping hole. Not even a scratch. So is this a vision of the future? Sweating, breathing heavy, his mind races. It was a horrible dream. Maybe a vision? A vision? If it's a vision, you're done. But if it's a premonition, then you have a chance to change it. He grips the kifuda in his hand. It won't let him get away. I won't let him get away this time. So hard that it smashes into pieces. At that moment, KK realizes he's not actually alone. Distracted by his fury, he had missed the approach of someone new. Who's there? Surprised, he spins to face this entity, but before he can raise his other hand, let me guess, a headache. Why did you say you could handle this yourself if you passing out all the time? KK emerges from the tunnel to find Ryota waiting with the rest of the team. You idiot. You run into the wall. You run into a wall of Kegare, and your instinct is to walk deeper into it when you know we're on our way to help. Listen, I know you listen. I'm not done yelling at you yet for making me worry about you. Okay, but all our instruments at HQ started going wild. We broke basically every traffic law in Tokyo twice to get here as quick as possible. Then we find an open sewer entrance. Little Ryota peering down into this dirty tunnel, clearly considering climbing down there despite our best efforts to cover for you and keep him busy. Sure, expect, so we took a look for ourselves. It's corruption in all directions. The whole place absolutely soaking in spirit residue. It's like they're amassing an army beneath our feet and you go sniffing around alone. It's not, maybe let her finish. Worst of all, you arrive stinking but unscathed, having been gone just long enough to have me convinced that you were really hurt down there, that I would never see you alive again. The problem with disappearing into a dangerous sewer all alone is that the longer you're gone after Rinko has asked you to be cautious, the more time she has to consider the things she'll shout at you when you return. The things we've been through together, when you're in danger, it's as if I can feel it deep down, but there's nothing I can do. What if you had died? The thought of being haunted by you, of all people. I almost climbed down there to kill you myself. I mean, I'm sorry, I should have waited. Don't you dare be nice to me right now. I need to calm. What? Value your friendship and support. I didn't hear that. Safely above ground, reunited with his team, KK turns his attention to the original source of all this drama, his young client Ryota. You were never going to tell me, were you? So I should have picked the other option. Sosuke isn't your best friend. He's your dog. What? He's my dog and my best friend. KK steps back nervously as Sosuke tries to jump into his lap, tail wagging. Oh, calm down. He just wants to be pet. Oh, calm down. He just wants to be pet. So I'm assuming he's trying to say he just wants you to pet him. Or she, anyway. Jeez. Who'd have thought that such a tough as Nail's former detective would have such a strong phobia around dogs? That's not a phobia. Why do people keep misusing the word phobia? Don't have to broadcast it after all. Alright? Don't be scared. Sosuke loves everyone. Maybe he should draw the line at loving monsters and following them into the sewer. Ryota hugs his dog and gets a face full of licks in response. KK relaxes slightly, seeing how harmless this little dog is, but still keeps some distance. Thank you so much for bringing him home safely, Mr. KK. Mr. KK? What an adorable alias. When exactly did you start going by these new short nickname? This new short nickname, KK. I suppose it has a fun ring to it. Not quite as formal as your full name. Before we get too sidetracked, as the lead investigator on this one, you got some paperwork to do, KK. Who's that guy? Not sure what's worse, fighting monsters or filling out all these forms. It's obvious that you prefer fighting to paperwork. KK scribbles out a few quick lines. Only Ed can read them. Hey kid, this is for you. A surprise for helping you find that ghost? Almost. It's the bill. You're gonna I'd charge him too, not gonna lie. Ryota's face sinks as he's left holding the check. Lucky for you, today's work is pro bono. That means free. Consider this your receipt. I'm feeling generous right now. Ryota looks closely at the paper in his hand. It says, the case of the cursed manhole. Extermination complete. Leaning in over his shoulder, Rinko lets out an uncharacteristically loud burst of laughter. Oh, now I get it. You didn't choose the nickname KK. Sloppy paperwork chose it for you. There's a lot in this life that we don't get to choose. Call me what you like. Not like I've got any use for a real name these days. And definitely not one of my old names. It doesn't matter what anyone calls me so long as I find that moron. KK's gaze looks fierce as though he's recalling a bitter past. Reflecting in his eyes is Ryota, who looks pleased to have received KK's autograph. KK's expression softens up in response. That said, I guess KK's not so bad. So, I guess that's the case file. So, it's looking, this one was somewhat of a false alarm. That case anyway, where it was a dog rather than an actual human being. But it doesn't change the fact that they can see faceless men in suits with umbrellas, headless schoolgirls, and who knows what else. So that's going to be interesting to figure out. First of all, well, I guess we know now that people are disappearing all over the globe. We know who the players are going to be. KK, Erica, Rinko, and Ed. So, I don't know. Is there going to be anything else? Oh, I can skip past it. All right. So, yeah, that looks like that is going to be it for Ghostwire Tokyo's graphic novel. Pretty much a prelude to the game that's coming out later on this month. I guess the prelude doesn't tell you anything that the trailers haven't already. Except that the main character, KK, he was being attacked by these weird creatures, along with Rinko. And he touched some weird crystals that gave him the ability to fight back against whatever these creatures are. Unfortunately, though, there was a guy in a Hanya mask that, in a vision, pretty much runs him through and kills him. And so I guess he's trying to find that person in that mask. And my only guess here is he's going to find this guy so that he can kill him first before the guy kills him. And then all this stuff is going to take place as it's all going down. So, yeah. As you can see, the streets were full. People were still, pretty much going on with life. And KK and Erica are the only people that can actually see this like black fog or dark fog. And, or this spiritual energy. Rinko and Ed are able to see the signals with their equipment, but they can't see it with their naked eye like KK and Erica can. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty interesting mystery, I think. Can't wait to try it out. Hopefully, now I will say this, just like with Dying Light and Sifu, if this game is going to be riddled with a bunch of unnecessary vulgar language, I'm going to give it a pass as well. I don't care how interesting the story is, I will give it a pass. But I'm still researching that to see. It doesn't. based on what I'm seeing here, it doesn't seem like it's a bunch of, vulgarities. Yeah, there are some there, but it does not seem to be on the level of Dying Light and Sifu. So we will see. As of right now, I do plan to pick it up, and I can't wait to pick it up to actually see the visual part of it. Now, this novel, I guess it's a good beginning, but I can't wait to actually see the game itself. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope this. I will say it didn't really give me much information about the game other than the character, and I guess that's the point, was to let you know about the characters that are going to be in the game. But yeah, comment down below, let me know what you think. Let me know if you think this game is going to be good, bad, you don't know yet, let me know what you think about it. As far as I know, it is a PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 exclusive. However, I did see it. This Ghostwire Prelude is in the Epic Games Store. So Epic Games may have an exclusivity going on with it too for PC. So, yeah. That's going to be it. If you like the video, consider giving a like. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this and Elden Ring. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put any WWE 2K footage, gameplay on the channel. I'm not sure about that yet. I don't know. I might put my Rise on there. And maybe GM mode, but maybe not anything else. I don't know. I have to see. And there's always going to be some mobile corner content as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, you guys know what to do. Always and forever. I guess it always and forever. Just